Good evening, all of you. I hope you are all well. Clearly, the past few days have been very challenging, daunting on all of us, especially as Patriots. We had the sad death of Peter Lynch, who I wouldn't say took his life, but gave his life as a martyr for our country, for the cause, for the problems, the tyranny that we are facing here across the UK with the communist regime. It's probably the only best way you could put the powers that be that we have into words. I'm gonna make this pretty simple. Tomorrow is a big day. It's a very important day. It's more than Tommy. It's more than anyone who's attending there. This is about our identity. It's our country. This is our children that you are attending or watching for, like myself, because I'm unfortunately unable to attend, and I want to make that apology now to those who were looking forward to meeting myself. Unfortunately, some circumstances have come up, and it means that I'm unable to come to London tomorrow and be there with you and also work alongside the team in London. So there's my apologies for that, but I will definitely be cheering on from the sidelines, and I'll also be praying that everyone has a safe and peaceful day. And it's important because, as I was saying, this day is massive. You've seen in the past few days what they have done to Tommy. You have seen in the past few months what they have done to British people like myself and you, who have had enough of what's taking place in this country. Whether it be the mass migration that never seems to end, or the two-tier policing and judiciary system that we have here, the way that we are left to rot and our pensioners left to freeze and starve to death over winter, whilst immigrants and asylum seekers have gone from £17,000 to £41,000 worth of money being spent on just renovations on their new homes, let alone everything else they get with the hotels, dentists, lawyer bills, you name it. They get the lot. We know this, right? Sadly, we can't put a stop to that. The only people that can are the powers that be, and all we can do is stick it to the man. And the way we do that is by peaceful protest. And I'm pretty sure the government know this already, but there is only so many protests people can do. There's only so much patience some people have. So it has to come to a point where the government need to start listening before things start boiling over too much. Now, we don't ever want to get to that point, because I'm telling you now, it would be very, very ugly and not very nice. Let's put it this way, for both sides. And it's the last thing that anybody wants in this country to ever happen. But the government need to take this seriously. People they've gone past the points of frustration and anger now. We've seen that with the recent protests. And you can do this whole, if you share a Facebook post or hurty words on Twitter, and we'll lock you up for this amount of time. The more serious the threat of the government, the more serious of a reaction from the people when the next baddest thing kicks off. We are literally one terrorist attack away from breaking out into civil war. Again, something we can't see happen. It would be horrible. It's something that none of us want to ever go down in our country's history. So something has to give, and unfortunately, the government get voted in by the British people to do the will of the British people. So leaders, they need to start taking notes. Now, the more I hear about the Great Replacement, the more I look into it and the more I believe it, because I'm telling you now, nothing more makes sense. And I was one of those skeptics that looked into it and Nah, I don't see much weight in this. I just think it's completely out of control migration by lefty politicians who just think that they're good for the country or the economy. No. And especially looking into some of the pages of Tommy Robinson's manifesto, you can clearly see what is going on here. Now the left, they'll play this. They'll say Tommy and others on the far right are making the most of bad situations to try brainwash the British public and getting them on side to make money out of them. A load of wash. They're doing the exact same thing for their cause, trying to get people to believe that there are brain surgeons, doctors, and God knows what else, all the good things coming over on those dinghies. Yet we know otherwise. We've seen the likes that come over on those boats, what they get up to, what they do to our children, what they do to our women, our soldiers. And we have simply had enough. Now, in light of the past few days, in light of the past few months, especially with Tommy being remanded and arrested today, and Peter Lynch, sadly, passing away, we must remain calm. They have lit the fuel. They already have us where they want us. They are expecting tomorrow something to kick off. And if we play into their hands, there's going to be a lot of people locked up. Future protests or laws brought in to make sure that this never happens again. A rally will never happen again, or anything like this will never be able to be held again in our cause. We can't let that happen. And they'll do all sorts of things to provoke us. We know this. And I'm not saying that, you're going to be trapped and all bad things are going to happen to you. I'm not trying to scare you into not going. You need to go. You have to go. This is for our children. I have a serious reason why I can't go, and I'm not going to get into it because it's personal. But trust me, if it wasn't as serious as it was, I would be there. Now, you need, like I said, you need to be there, but you need to be on guard. And all you got to do is keep your wits about you. Don't react. That's all I asked. I put up a video before talking about the unions coming out in full power in support of the Stand Up to Racism movement, when none of us who attend those rallies have a racist bone in their body. Most of the people that go are in their 40s, 50s. There were kids there. There was people of all colours there. I'll tell you now, I think there was more people who participated in the actual rally itself on July the 27th that were of different cultures than there were white British people. So we know that is a load of nonsense. They'll play that till the cows come home to try and get people to believe that we are these bad racists or fascists. Let them continue to do so. What we can't do is react. Whether they're stood on the corner trying to provoke you, whatever. You've got so many different movements trying to stand up and oppose what's going on tomorrow. A celebration of our identity, culture and values. And the joke of it is that some of these people, or the majority of these people, are British. Or so say British. And like you and like me, they would have had family members that have served in the armed forces, potentially in the World War I and II, ancestors who have fought and died, who will be turning in their graves right now, looking down on them, thinking, what on earth are you doing? We know who we are. We are British. British in our hearts. We have the same thoughts, the same ideas, the same reactions as what our mothers, our fathers do, what their mothers and their fathers did, and so on and so forth. We love our country. We love our values. We love our identity. We love our flag, our national anthem. Maybe not so much on some of the things. Maybe I'm not a big fan of the monarchy, but still, it is part of our identity. We have a history to be proud of, not ashamed of, but proud of. And yet they want us to absolutely hate who we are, simply because of some mistakes that we have made. But let's get this right, and put this right. We have done more for this world in a good light than we have in a bad light. And if they want to talk about reparations and all this nonsense, where's our reparations for the Industrial Revolution? Where's our reparations for those that died trying to end the slavery? Where's our reparations for all that we have done and catered for all across the world these past few hundred years? You call us colonizers. There is not one country on this planet that hasn't at one point colonized or tried to colonize at one point in its history. So let's not beat around the bush here. Love who you are. We all have a home. And those that you hold hands with, hand in hands, when you're walking down the streets through all our cities or towns, chanting "Free, Free Palestine," look at the love they have for their homes. That ain't half as good as the home that we live in. The home that gave birth to some of the most best inventions and creations that this world has ever seen. The best people that this world has ever seen. Britain is an amazing nation. England itself is just one of a kind. We are a small island, yet we were one of the most powerful nations in the world. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. We have made mistakes. But so has everyone else. And it doesn't mean we owe anyone. It doesn't mean we need to be sorry. It means simply that we learn from our mistakes and never repeat them. And be proud of the accomplishments we have made and seek to repeat them. We have fought tyranny before. We know what it looks like when it stares at us in our face. And it is gladly staring at us in our face now, every time it appears in PMQs opposite Rishi Sunak. Keir Starlin Starmer. I am telling you now, no matter what you do, what you say, you will never ever defeat the true British people or the love for their country. And when you got the likes of who you have in your cabinet, David Lammy, who classes himself as not British, but Caribbean, who calls foreign leaders like Trump all the names under the sun, expecting to have a good relationship with them as our foreign secretary. Take a long, hard look in the mirror. You are destroying yourselves as a party, you are destroying yourselves as people, and you are proving everyone who spoke against you in the last election absolutely right in what they said, including myself. We knew what we were getting ourselves into. Never in my life would I have voted for Labour, and I absolutely condemn anyone who did. However, we have gone past that point now. We are stuck for 4 to 5 years of this nonsense. But until that passes, we need to stick together. We need to unite, and we need to make sure that we do not bite back to those who are trying to set us up. They would love nothing more than to see something kick off tomorrow. They have got the headlines ready. They just need a picture or a video. So if you're attending tomorrow, have fun. Keep it peaceful. Play by the rules. As for Tommy, I wish him all the best. And I pray that come Monday, Tuesday, he gets the results that he's looking for, and which is unlikely. But if he does, then we can move on from that point there on in. I hope to see you at the next rally. I'll be on live again soon on my channel, and once I've overcome some of the problems that I'm facing currently, I'll be looking to then bring on the guests that I've been speaking of. I've already arranged some of them. Anne-Marie Waters will be our first guest, and we've got that after the 30th. So the week after the 30th, Anne-Marie Waters will be joining me. So look forward to that, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Again, enjoy tomorrow. Don't be worried about anything, but all I'm saying is don't bite back. Don't play into their hands. Take care.